Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Wrong About Sports. I am a very happy Chicago Bears fan sitting in his car right now, Brian McDaniel.
And I'm going to say, go love yourself, Brian McDaniel,
And
Vikings fan, Karla Bigham.
and
And
we are
we are wrong
wrong
about
about
sports.
sports.
Oh
Well,
my
now
God.
let me just say, I am a reasonable person.
You are.
I know that the Bears Vikings game yesterday was not a clash of the Titans. This is
Nope.
not this is not your NFC championship game preview. These are two teams that, unless the Bears keep getting a lot of good luck, these both neither of these teams are going to make the playoffs most likely. But winning is better than losing.
That's
And
fact.
as somebody who grew up in the Chicago area, moved here, and has largely, other than like 1 or 2 years, largely been tortured by Vikings fans my whole life. Generally, a Vikings loss is more fun for me than a Bears win. But when they can be at the same time, that is something that I did enjoy. Though, and we'll get into this
Hmm.
in greater detail. But it's not like the Bears set the world on fire. It was more that
No.
the Vikings issues were highlighted much more than like the Bears successes were highlighted. Well,
Yeah,
you were there.
the
You were
Bears.
there. You were
I
there.
was there. I brought the Boomers to see their first Vikings game. My parents and my husband and I went, and it's it's an incredible stadium. I've never been to Soldier Field, but this is obviously a lot newer, lot newer. And it's just incredible atmosphere, I have to say that. And it's always fun to go to a division rival game. And so I will say that the the Bears are trying to give us the win. Let's put it that way towards the end there. But for the second straight week in a row, JJ McCarthy couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. And nor could the receivers catch what few accurate passes were coming their way. When Jefferson had, 61 yards, and I mean, that's not good for him. He's
He's a team guy, but
Yeah.
watching it on television on the sideline, he was very frustrated. Very
Yeah,
frustrated.
and I think part of it was, he had quite a few targets, but was not catching them. And he only had, there were a couple where he should have caught. There's no doubt about it. But let's just say this, it came down to the fourth quarter, came down to the special teams who have actually been lights out. It's been like the highlight of our team. And when we needed them most, they let a, huge, like 54, I think it was 54-yard
Yeah.
kick return. But let's back up. Bears win 1917. McCarthy was 16 for 32 and 150 yards. Did have an amazing touchdown to Addison
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter that set up that kick, the kick return. Two interceptions. He actually was not sacked at all. I found that little nugget of information. And here's another nugget. He didn't run, didn't have one rushing yard. And so the protection was there. Um, and he didn't use his legs. I just think the pace was too much, and these defenses are tricking this young man, and he's not seeing it. And he's not, I didn't hear one audible. I didn't hear or see one audible that I don't know if O'Connell has him on lockdown or what the deal is there, but he's not making adjustments, I believe. I mean, I'm no pro football player, and there are times where I don't know the defense schemes myself, but I'm also not a pro football quarterback. But so you can see the anxiety, you could see the unsettled side of it. And then, between Jones and Mason, 115 yards running. Jones had 70, and then Mason had 45 in the tutty, and I think that was the second or the third. So it's just, I mean, it it's just the defense wasn't completing tackles. I don't know. The penalties were cleaned up. That's a positive. We didn't have the 8 false starts at home. And I think we only had 2 penalties, if memory serves me right. But I don't know. What do you think of the Bears? And then I can fill you in on what I thought they were doing.
Yeah, this is their seventh win in the last 8 games,
Mm-hmm.
but they're beating teams that they're supposed to beat. Now, this Vikings game, one on the road, two, the Vikings are at least supposed to be, no worse than good.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the best win that the Bears had. Though it
Mm-hmm.
certainly wasn't the best game that they've played. They are the comeback kids. They are cardiac Caleb. They are all these things because against the Giants, against Cincinnati, going back even more games after that, the fourth quarter comebacks are awesome. But every game has a very similar script where
Yeah.
the Bears do pretty well. They kind of get field goals, not touchdowns, but they're doing pretty well. And then the
Mm-hmm.
defense, who is so banged up,
Yep.
starts to lose gas. The other team either comes back or goes ahead, which is what
Yep.
happened with the Vikings. And then the Bears are able to storm back and win games that last year, the year before that, they absolutely would have lost. So the culture change with Ben Johnson is evident. The team
Mm-hmm.
has bought into this. And
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing, Caleb Williams only had a good game yesterday compared to JJ McCarthy. But
Yeah.
you can tell that he is in charge of that offense and that he's not doesn't turn the ball over. They've really, with offensive line help, and he's all of a sudden this Patrick Mahomes magician getting out of sacks
He's a
all of
big
a sudden.
boy.
Yeah. And so I mean, yes, they won. They won on the road. They won against a division rival. Everything there is awesome. Um, but they have a real tough schedule coming up. They got
Yes.
the Eagles, the Packers twice, I think the Lions again. So we're gonna start. I think they have the Steelers next week, which now is not as tough of a game because
Yeah.
because of
Rogers is out.
Rodgers is going to be out because he doesn't want to play the Bears. He knows what'll
No.
happen.
No. I think he
But
owns them. I think
he
he owns them.
now historically he's not wrong. He owns them. He does whatever. But in any event, I'm happy they won.
Yeah.
Um, but I was surprised at how JJ McCarthy looked because in other games that I saw him and Wentz play, they were running for their lives because the offensive line couldn't protect
Yep.
them. That wasn't what happened
Nope.
this time.
Nope.
No, and like you said, we're not defensive coordinators. Bears might not have been getting pressure because they were pulling people back into coverage. We don't really know how all of that worked, but he was missing open guys.
Yep.
And when he was hitting guys like that early pass to Addison, which 100% was going to be a touchdown, they just dropped him. And you
Yeah.
can't let your struggling rookie quarterback have those things happen. His confidence is going to get shot.
Both quarterbacks were actually 16 for 32.
Yeah,
The first half was brutal for both of them. Just brutal. 193 yards for Williams, 26 rushing. So he's starting to let teams know, like, you're gonna have to. I'm no Lamar Jackson, but you're gonna have to account for me because I'll put 25, 30 yards on you if you don't watch out. And he's a big boy. He's hard to take down. Swift had 90 yards. Most of those, I mean, just beautiful running by him. And most of those I think were more in the first half, if memory serves me right. And then Manangai had a tutty. but did not have that many yards. I think
No,
he only had
he
like
didn't get that
70.
many opportunities, but they're
He did not.
definitely they're starting to groom him in that
Yeah.
David Montgomery role from the
And he'll be
Lions.
just fine. He'll
Yeah,
be
he will.
just fine. He's a beast. And then Komet Loveland and Undizi. How do you say that? O
Odunze.
D Adunze.
Odunze.
Adunze each had about 40 yards. So that, I mean, the um it was not a spectacular show for Caleb, but true to form, he doesn't turn the ball over. And against our defense, which they just couldn't wrap up tackles. He
Yeah.
was a magician, like you said, and he was just getting out of that. And people were. This is what's been frustrating. They're just standing around while one guy or maybe two guys are struggling, and then you have the corner. This, I mean, Harrison Smith is running up and giving an elbow to try to tap. It's just like, I mean, these guys are pros, and they put their bodies on the line, all the time, every week. But like, it just feels as if there's something missing. The grit, the determination isn't there. And I don't know what it is. They aren't playing like they played last year. I don't know. I mean, I can't put my finger on what it is, but I'm going to be consistent. I'm not going to change my opinion. You do have to give McCarthy some time here. It's his fifth game. Like, people need to chill on that. But I think honestly, I don't know all the rumblings of how you roll out a play, that detail. But I just think for him right now, the simpler the better. On the offensive front, you have two good running backs. You have the most amazing receiving core, and I think the whole league. And you have a couple stud tight ends with Hawkinson and Oliver. Like, use them, keep it simple, and just break it down and and then build them back up. But it just felt like that 2 minute time frame at the end of the fourth when he was just balling. It's just like he wasn't thinking, he was just playing. He was pretty unstoppable.
Well,
He's
and K
so Christian Ponder like, where they're overcoaching him and he's overthinking.
Well, and KOC is such a good coach. Even I think that. I don't know why he can't see that when you put McCarthy in those hurry up situations, he looks better.
Mhm.
He's not, doesn't have to think as much. So I want to see, as the Vikings go forward, are they going to start doing a lot more no huddle? Are they going to start doing things to kind of like pick up the tempo to try to take some of the thought process away from
Yeah.
McCarthy?
Well, I think one thing I'm going to say about the Bears, the old line protected Williams and gave him time, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous. And so they fixed that. I think they've really, like, that has changed even, from the first. I mean, and I hope they would after 5 weeks. They figured that out. I think they've addressed that with the offensive line and protecting him and giving him time. And then, I mean, I will say that I really do feel the Bears, like you said, kind of they tucker out. I think they're injury prone in defense, and it allows the offense of the opposing team to creep up on them towards the end of the game when they get tuckered out and worn out. And I think until they get healthy, that's probably going to be an issue. But the final thing I will say is I I don't know if the play calling upset me so much, but I just feel like, again, the lack of adjusting if McCarthy sees something. I don't know if he's being told do not change the play, or if there's a signal from KOC or Josh McGowan or the offensive coordinator to say, you know, this is what we see from upstairs. But I don't know if the booth maybe is a better place for someone to be calling the plays and to let KOC come up with the plan and say, we're going to be doing heavy this scheme, heavy that scheme, whatever you want to say. But I'm just, something's up. Like, he's a prolific play caller. He's really good, but it ain't working what he's doing for JJ. And it's just either it's too fast or too complex, and the defenses are able to confuse the young player. So that's really, in my opinion, what happened. That's only going to get over. You're only going to get over that with more experience.
Yep. And I would have said, well, the offensive line has him running for his life, but that was just
Not the
not the
case.
case.
Against
Um,
our defensive line is pretty impressive too.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
So,
Well, another NFC North news,
yep.
the Packers, they
Hmm.
won. They beat
Barely,
the Jameis Winston led New York Giants, and they won barely.
barely.
The Detroit Lions, in a kind of a dog of a game last night,
Oof.
yes, lost 16 to
Yep.
9 to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, let me see. I was told there'd be no math. But that does make your Chicago Bears the NFC North leaders. So right now, let's just stop the game. Let's just
Mhm.
stop the season.
Okay.
It's
Yep.
not gonna get any better for the Bears. So this week, I'm just gonna be very happy that they
You
are
should be.
your NFC North first place champion.
And
So
Vikings are sweeping the basement. I mean, which,
yeah,
whatever. Yeah, Packers 27-20 of the Giants. They needed that win, and it was not it was a doozy, and that was kind of surprising because of the changes that Giants had to undergo this week. And I would say that, Jordan Love left with a shoulder injury, but he came back later
yeah,
in the game. But he was 13 for 24, 174 yards and a couple tutties. And then Malik Willis threw a tutty as well
yeah.
in his like one series I think he was in. But the big news, Josh Jacobs, their stud running back, knee is hurt. No structural damage, but he'll be week to week. It sounds like Vikings play the Packers next week, so to
Okay.
not have the stud running back might be helpful, but I think they have a pretty good bench there. And then to your point, Jameis Winston was 19 to 29, 201 yards. So it's not a bad showing coming right off the bench. And
No,
man, is he hilarious.
he is hilarious. He's somebody that's very easy to root for, though he did throw a Jameis Winston interception at the end of the game, which is as is his way. But no, I like Winston very much.
Well, and then the Lions loss, as you said, that Eagles defense was just way too much for Goff. He was 37, or he was 14 for 37, 255 yards and a tutty. 255 is impressive, but check this out. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 12 targets, two
Two
receptions for 42
receptions.
yards. Yeah, that's whoops. I mean, he was having a day with some butterfingers there, and just not being able to bring it in. But who had a day, and mainly these were uh, passing yards, was Gibbs.
Yeah.
Now, Gibbs is amazing. He's a really
Uh-huh.
good player. He can block. He can just catch the ball. You can put him pretty much anywhere on that field, probably except for the line, obviously. A little, and he's gonna give you some production, and so I really like him. And yeah, he had a day, 107 yards, and I would that's mainly receiving. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So yeah.
so it's our schedule is, we have the Commanders coming up, we have Packers couple times. We That's our final game is here against the Packers. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's coming down. It's coming down to the wire here, but I mean we're not gonna make any sort of playoff run. And we'll be in that first group of games of teams that are told they're not going to be in the playoffs. But I just think that it's really neat, and I mean this sincerely. The Lions and the Bears, I think, have just really done a wonderful job of rebuilding and reorging and really adjusting. And so I'm fine with either one of those representing us in the playoffs.
Yeah, I still think that it's going to be Lions Packers first and second in our division. But this gives me the Packers are coming back to earth. The Bears are
Hmm.
looking a little better, and at least makes me think that the Bears can split with them coming up. And then the Bears start getting up towards 10 wins, and then
Hmm.
that's kind of where the playoffs are going to start. So you know what, you and I need to brainstorm. We need to get a Packer fan on the show next Monday to
We do.
talk about Vikings Packers. But let's talk about tonight's
Yep.
Monday night game. Little bit of an ugly one. I think we're gonna
Yeah.
get. This is one of those
Yeah.
ones that probably looked good at the beginning of the year and not so much now. But it's
No.
Cowboys Raiders, and
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see we'll see how
Well,
this goes.
I'm going with the Cowboys.
Yeah,
And that's no stretch. Their defense stinks. But it's getting better. But man, that offense is potent. Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson, it's just Dak is really comfortable, with that crew. And I think that's going to show through tonight. But that Raiders defense, they're not terrible. And you got Max Crosby,
Max Crosby, man.
who's going to, I think, be a very much a disruptor tonight. And so for my Dallas pick for tonight, I have the over on 35 passing attempts and my ration for Dak Prescott. And the reason is because I think he's going to be pressured a lot. I think they're going to just keep blitzing and blitzing and blitzing. And I think your prop and my prop are going to benefit a little bit. I think CD is going to have a night, and I also think Ferguson's going to have a night. And so I think it's really, I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's going to be kind of a blowout. But here's my other thing is Genty, the running back from rookie running back, having himself a pretty good year this year as a rookie. Um, I'm going on the oh man, did I think I'm on the over for that one. Um Over on Genty. And I think they're gonna just try to wear down the Dallas defense on the rush side. So on their line. So I think he's gonna have a night too.
All right, and on mine, so I feel like I pick a lot of tight ends
You do, you
on
do.
these props because I think I
We
took
don't
two.
judge.
I think I took. It's 2025. Everything's on the table. But so I for the Cowboys pick, I looked at their awesome tight end Ferguson, who I have in a couple different fantasy leagues. I don't have the ability to call it up right in front of me, but I think that it was around 35 yards. If you have access to it, maybe just tell me if that was right. But I'm going to take the over on that because I do think that the Cowboy offense has been looking good. They are going to run the ball a fair amount, but I think they are going to feed it to their tight end as they have for most
Yep.
of the year. So I'm taking the over on that. And then on my Raiders pick, I'm going to go with their tight end Brock Bowers, who's
Yep.
awesome. He's been hurt a lot this year, but he's awesome.
Hmm.
But the over the line for receptions for him is 6.5, and that's kind of a lot. So I think that because Geno Smith's been playing poorly, because the wide receiving crew there is garbage, and they shipped
Hmm.
off Jacoby Myers. I think that the Cowboys are going to focus on Bowers, so he'll do fine. But I do not see him getting 7 receptions. Six sounds
Yeah.
about right, so I'm going to take the under on that. And hopefully it's a good game. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that's my prediction for that. But if I could just stop 1 second there, and I
Hmm.
want to talk just for 1 minute about our sponsor, the Minnesota Licensed Beverage
Hmm.
Association. You know, our day jobs are in politics, so we kind of live and breathe this. But
Yeah.
as part of the agreement to reopen up government, there was a provision in the agreement that drastically
Oh yeah.
deals with how hemp beverages with THC in them are
Mhm.
going to be allowed to be manufactured and sold.
Yeah.
And this is something that we have 12 months to work on. But the members of the Minnesota Licensed Beverage Association, which are liquor retailers, they are hurt significantly
Yeah.
by this. The hemp beer industry is hurt by this. Breweries are hurt by this. So when you guys are thinking about what impact does this stuff have on your daily life? Well, this will be something that impacts you. So next time you're hanging out with your congressperson, which I know you probably do all the time, make sure they know that this is something that in the next 12 months we want fixed, and that would help our good friends at the Minnesota Licensed Beverage Association.
Yeah, and we could get, and we appreciate the sponsorship, and we could get real wonky about this, but a little nugget is, the hemp bill was one of my bills when I
Yeah.
was in the Senate, with then Senator Kent Eakin, and Senator Coran was also in on that, and it's a big agriculture issue
Yeah.
here. We are leaders in the hemp industry, and it's a very versatile product that isn't just for CBD type stuff or just to put in beer, but it's a very sustainable and versatile product that you can make textiles. You can make toilet paper with it. I mean, so it's just and to ruin you're not going to grow hemp if you can't have a product, an end product, an end user, a purchaser of it. And the provisions that were in the federal bill really substantially hurt them. And so it's a very nuanced subject, but you know, it's unfortunate because it hurts the small businesses like these mom and pop liquor stores, and it hurts our farmers and distributors.
Big liquor, man.
Yep.
But anyway, so we appreciate you letting us get in our soapbox a little
Mhm.
bit there on behalf of our sponsor. And with that, I am very proud to say, bear down, Brian McDaniel.
And I'm always hopeful and optimistic for the next week. Vikings fan, Karla Bigham.
And we
And
are
we are
wrong about sports. Bear down.